It's easy to be cynical about the church. Scandal, conflicts, and apathy are familiar experiences. But Psalm 87 checks our cynicism by its vigorous praise for Zion, the city God founded. Zion is shorthand for the full gathering of God's redeemed people, as Revelation 14 verse 1 makes plain. In Christ, New Testament Christians, as Hebrews 12 says, come to Mount Zion and to the city of the living God and to the spirits of the righteous made perfect, verses 22 and 23. So how does Psalm 87 help us share God's enthusiasm for the church? Well, in several different ways. First of all, it teaches us that Zion is God's city. He founded her, verse 1 says. He loves her, verse 2. He will establish her, verse 5. And those phrases suggest progress. That helps us understand why God is more positive about Zion than we might be. He sees the end result of his work in the church. He can already see her in the language that Paul uses in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 26 and 27, as sanctified, cleansed, and splendorous, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing. Those who are born in Zion receive God's gift of new life and find in God all their springs, everything they need to flourish. So Zion is God's city. Second, Zion is a vast and distinct city, a diverse city. Among those who know me, verse 4 says, I mention Rahab and Babylon. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Cush. Babylon? Philistia? These names are synonyms for God's enemies. In Revelation, Babylon is the great harlot. As William Hendrickson describes Babylon, this is Satan's anti-Christian seduction, striving to steal the hearts and pervert the morals of believers. But even those from Babylon are not out of reach of God's saving grace. Early in God's redemption, the nations, like Babylon and Philistia, they trickled into Zion. At Pentecost, they began to flow in. At the last day, they will be fully represented. So Zion is a vast and diverse city. And finally, Zion is a city that we should treasure. The author says, glorious things of you are spoken, O city of God, verse 3. The rumors about God's people in the Old Testament weren't so much about the people themselves, but about the presence of God in their midst. The most praiseworthy trait of Zion, according to a similar psalm, Psalm 48, is that God is her fortress, verse 3. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised, verse 1 of Psalm 48 says. God's presence with us should make us also say glorious things of the church and love her as God does. Let's listen to Psalm 87, a psalm of the sons of Korah, a song. On the holy mount stands the city he founded. The Lord loves the gates of Zion more than all the dwelling places of Jacob. Glorious things of you are spoken, O city of God, Selah. Among those who know me, I mention Rahab and Babylon. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Cush. This one was born there, they say. And of Zion it shall be said, this one and that one were born in her. For the Most High himself will establish her. The Lord records, as he registers the peoples, this one was born there, Selah. Singers and dancers alike shall say, all my springs are in you.